welcome to this year's belt. Uh, this month's theme is something old, something new, because it's Valentine's. So, like, something old, something new, something blue on those lines. Um, Today, we'll be talking about Wakelet, which is a content collection, content curation, and sharing app. Right now it's very new in the market, so it's still at a sort of a testing phase, especially with Microsoft Office 365. So we've been having a few issues logging into it through Office 365. So we'll try a different method today. But I know eventually we've talked to um, the people at UFH main campus, the tech people, to ask, what's going on. So let's see. Hopefully, it will all start working again. Um, okay, so let me start. Um, okay, so welcome to Belt. I want you to take a nice look at this picture and tell me, what do you think it is? What is it? What comes to your mind? The first thing that comes to your mind when you see this?
What a mess.
All right, good. That's right. Okay, moving on to the next. And what comes to your mind when you see this?
Neat and organized.
All right, very good. Okay, so that is pretty much the philosophy behind Wakelet. Okay, so right now we are in. Wait a second. Let me go back. We are in the age of a lot of data. Every day we consume multiple amounts of data, whether it is in the form of text, whether it's in the form of video, or tangible data like books, online data like websites, tons of data. Okay, we store tons of data in form of articles, resources, videos. We create videos. We look for different videos that relate to our topics. So we are dealing with a lot of data. Okay, uh, and now in education, what the big thing that is how do you manage such big data? How do you manage to share such big data and make sense of it, especially for the students, especially as educators, right? Um, so what comes to mind and what has come into play is the idea of digital content curation. Okay, that is the terminology that everybody's is talking about. And I think that's what the next slide is. So basically, what is content curation? It is sort of the act of finding things, looking for resources that relate to your topic, grouping them, categorizing them, organizing and sharing, whatever is the best of the best. So basically you're categorizing and you're just picking things that are actually relevant to your issues, to your topic. Okay. This is something that museums and libraries have done for years. That's why I showed you those images in the beginning. And they have always categorized the books and categorized artifacts based on themes and patterns and years and all of that, thematically in a chronological order. Um, and really, one thing that really pops out to me is, wait a second, let me see. I haven't done this pathway correctly, it seems. Okay, wait. Yeah, so I read one article, and they defined digital curation in a really nice way. They said that it sits firmly in the context of participatory culture, which means where multiple people are participating, multiple stakeholders are in that participatory culture, where it's educators, it's students, it's instructional designers, people who are involved in creating learning content, right? And where average users are enabled by technology to have the capability to archive, annotate, appropriate, and recirculate that media content in powerful new ways. So basically, it's a way of finding the best resources that relate to your topic instead of recreating the wheel. If you can find something out there that has already been done, or some topic that has already been talked about in an appropriate in a manner that you think is appropriate, then that's what digital content curation is. And I think all of you do that on a regular basis. I've seen in your courses there are a lot of other videos that you share, other links that are part of your courses. So you are pretty much doing this already. let me go back. Yeah, on. Oh, Prezi is so funny. Okay, there was one more thing. So there's this tweeter. He's a educational technology tweeter, educator. His name is Matt Miller, and they had a Twitter conversation a few weeks ago about digital content curation, and that was a very very interesting concept. And they talked about the consumption creation continuum. I'm just giving you this little background, before we talk about this tool, because it's interesting. It's interesting to know what people are talking about these days. And they said that it's all about consuming what you all kinds of information on a daily basis, commenting on it, if, whether it's good, it's bad, whether it relates to what you are looking for, making those connections between that content and what relates to the topics that you teach or the topics that you need to learn. So making those connections and then just sort of curating them and make creating that list of links that are interesting for your topic, and then also categorizing them thematically in patterns like you would do for different units, and then creating a whole collection of those curated items. So there's a link down here. So I'll share this Prezi with you. So when you get a chance, just it's a really good read about being a curator or a dumper, where they talk about that dumping is that if someone asks you for a recipe, you just give like 100 different versions of it. Or if someone asks like, hey, I'm traveling to say India just like Joan is, and where would I go, what would I see? So you give like a bunch of things. Instead, a curator is someone who would analyze that person's interest or like Joan's interest and what she's interested in, and just give her specific items that would sort of connect with what she wants to do. So that's the difference that they talk about in this article, and it's a really fun read if you want to. So one of the articles has talked about curation guidelines. So this is really important, especially if you're using something like Wakelet. It's okay if you have a bunch of links in your Blackboard, because you won't have so many, you would just have specific ones. But if you're using a tool like Padlet or Wakelet, the world's the limit with that. There is no limit to what all you can add to it. So it's really important that you understand that, okay, I have to limit it to a certain theme or a certain topic and not just go overboard with it. So that's why less is more. Always keep it very specific, very topic, very thematic, and topic based. Chunk it, so basically categorize it just like libraries do, just like museums do. Make sure you have different topic headings, and you can add descriptions, you can add topics, you can use subtopics, so you can categorize it in multiple ways. Add your own introductions. That's a really good practice, because if for a reader, if you just throw in a bunch of different links, they won't understand what it's all about. So it's always good practice to add an introduction that, okay, this section or this topic is about blah blah blah, like community health, or this topic is about how to use active learning tools in teaching, and then you can have those different resources. Images as anchors, that is something I try to do all the time. I'll always have some kind of a little visual element to the presentations and to all the resources that I provide. So that gives them a point of reference, for if you're talking about something, if you're talking about a tool, if you're talking about a process, like how to, like a disease process, or what interventions to do. If you have some images that go with it, it's really great. It gives that visual element for the students. And last thing is polish your hyperlinks. I will show you how to do that. Basically, instead of providing a whole link like we would, like HTTP:// that whole link, just put a text and then hyperlink it. That way, you're not giving them something that is so clunky. Instead, you just say, watch this video, and then you have the title, which is a hyperlink. Okay, something like that. Okay, so what is Wakelet? Basically, Wakelet, it's a free curation content collection tool. At least till now, it is free. It allows you to save it, organize a story, and there's no limit to how many collections you make. As of now, I'm not sure. I don't think so. But you can have a variety of things that variety of multimedia that you can add to it. It allows PDFs, it allows files, it allows YouTube videos. Um, a cool thing is you can add bookmarks to it, so you can save a certain links that you like related to a topic, and you can pull those in as well. Um, so it does quite a few different things. Let me see if that, yeah. So basically, it basically addresses a problem where where there's in on the internet there is so much disconnected content out there, and what Wakelet does, it helps you bring that together. And this could be in variety of forms, not just blogs and videos and articles. It could even be like Twitter conversations, like I was talking about, that there was a Twitter conversation on digital curation. So you can bring all of those elements in one, under one roof, in one space, for students to experience those multimodal uh, multimodal resources for them. It also says that it aims to bridge the gap between humans and algorithms by empowering people to curate content in a very stunning, it's visually stunning, personal way. And what can you do with Wakelet? So it calls the collection, it calls them wakes. Okay, you can add tweets and other social media. So it connects with Facebook and Instagram, I believe. Yeah, you can add variety of content, text, images, PDFs, and so on. Everything can be organized as headers. You can share those collections as like every other Web 2.0 tool or every other active learning tool. You can get a shareable link that you can share. And you can make them visible to, like, a certain group of people, or like a public. So it's similar to how you have in YouTube, whether it can be a public video or unlisted, where only people with the link can see your Wakelet. Okay. And lastly, it's called the fifth C. I mean, one of the bloggers, Katie Morrow, I'll share that link to her blog with you all. She has written really fun things about digital content curation, and she talks about how, like, there are 4 C's in education, which is critical thinking and communication, collaboration, and creativity. Wakelet and other digital curation tools, they take into consideration all of these 4 C's, but add to it is adding to it is the fifth C, which is curation, right there. Okay. And I think this is my last one. Okay. So where all can you use Wakelet in learning? It can be used as in project-based learning. Okay, so for students to organize either their research or their capstone, like review of literatures and all of those ideas, they can bookmark those resources, like articles that they need to read, or articles based categorized by themes, or categorized by various topics and subtopics for their researches. So, basically a lot of elaborate content that they would otherwise look around for, it can be, condensed in the form of a Wakelet. Then there is digital portfolios. So it's a very simple, very effective tool for students to create their digital portfolios, as well as digital resumes or CVs. And they can save all their work, their achievements, and published articles, presentations, photographs, assignment documents, all of that in one place, and share that link either with their prospective employers or their professors if there is an assignment that includes creating a digital portfolio. Um, it also it can also be used for personalized learning. So this is something that I do a lot. If I'm researching something, like I was researching digital curation, and then I researched something like micro learning because I'm planning to write something about it. So I would just put links to all those articles and all those resources in that one thematic category, and then go back to it whenever I want to read. So a variety of different videos, articles. And some students, some people, they like to learn that way, where they create their own library of resources. to support the topic or the unit that they are learning about. Um, Also, for nowadays with open learning resources, this is a great tool to use if you want students to have access to those open educational resources under one roof. Instead of providing them with 10 different links, you just provide them with one link to a Wakelet which has all of those, that library of resources. Also, it can be used as hyperdocs. If you don't know what hyperdocs is, it is a digital document, something like a Google Doc or a SharePoint document, where all of the content is pulled together into one hub, and the students, anyone can edit those, and it's all condensed in that one document. So similarly with Wakelet, if students have a link, or if it's a collaborative project, then everybody can go into it and you can edit it. It can be joined using a certain code, or just add some people using email. I'll show you how to do that. So basically, it can be used like as a hyper document assignment, which can be edited and shared within a group of students. For differentiated learning, because it takes into consideration a lot of different elements, a lot of multimedia, it provides multimodal activities which caters to different learning styles. So teaching the same concept using a variety of things, like there will be an article, there's a reading, there's watching, there's viewing, listening, a podcast related to it. So same topic, different activities. And lastly, like I said, collaboration. It helps in creating an active learning environment and helps students collaborate on a certain project using the Wakelet, codes and shareable links. Okay, let's go to see what Wakelet looks like. So go to Wakelet, wakelet.com. Okay. Um, So like you see over here, enter code. This is very similar to how you have it in a Kahoot, where you enter like a game code to join a Kahoot. Same way here, you can enter the Wakelet code, especially for something like library of resources that you want to share with your students, but you don't want them to like edit or anything. It's just, and you don't want them to log in using their email and all of that. You want to avoid that hassle. You just give them the Wakelet code and they'll be able to see it. Okay. But right now we are going to learn how to create one. So click login. Technically, this should work eventually, log in with Office 365, but for this week, for some reason, I think they're in that testing phase, and there's something going on in the background at UFH between Office 365 and these apps. Okay, if you have a Google account, you can do that as well. It also logs you in through Facebook. So I've logged in using our UH Nursing Google account. Okay, so this is your dashboard. Okay, on the left-hand side, you will see your profile. Your first tab is collection, and that will give you a count of how many different collections you've got. Then you have bookmarks. I saved 2 bookmarks just, to show you what it looks like. Then there's group collections, and because this is a social media tool, you can also have followers and people who follow you. All right. On the top, you have search, and this searches for a certain term. And what it will do is it will show you collections of people related to that topic. Okay. And then you have explore, and it will just give you like the top Wakelets that people have made, and you can look at those. You can take inspiration, or you can pull some of those into your own Wakelet. Okay. Then there's the home button. Then this one is notifications, and this is your profile. All right. Okay, the first thing you would do is create a new collection. Okay, so there is, in the center of your dashboard, there is this big square with the green plus button. So click on that, and this is what your Wakelet dashboard will look like. You can add a cover image. This could be the U of H College of Nursing logo, so you can upload that image, or it also connects to a free photo library called Unsplash, and Unsplash has really beautiful pictures. In fact, I have used some of those pictures in our PowerPoint templates, and it has a lot of pictures that are red in color. I think I'll choose the roses for today, and it will pull in that image. Okay, you can edit the image, so it's, if you feel it's too big, say half. Okay, and if you don't want any image, you can even hide it. Right, I'll keep it at half. Then you have to give your collection a title. Okay, let's call it, come on. Okay, I'm going to call it a practice Wakelet. And then you can add a description. These are resources. Okay. Now the next is where all the magic happens, and this is what adds, multiple items to your collection. You can add from Twitter, you can add from YouTube, you can add an image, you can add a bookmark, PDF, or you can write something on your own. Okay, and you can also paste a web address. So let me see if I paste uh.edu nursing and click enter. Let's see if it picks it up. Yeah, so it will paste that address, and let me write something. Okay, and all the text has those WYSIWYG tools, like you can make it bold, you can make it italic, you can increase the size of the text, make it smaller, bigger, you can add a link to it. So generic tools that you would have. Okay, this is what it looks like. And let me see if I can edit that link. No, I can't. Multiple, let's try to put a video in there. So click on the YouTube link and you can search. So this will connect to YouTube. So basically it talks to a lot of different other platforms, so which is the cool thing. Let me say nursing. Let's see if it pulls in our videos. Yes, it does. And you click on the video, you say add, and it will pull that video in. Okay. Now, for some reason, I usually never like something that scrolls all the way down, and that was my biggest problem with Wakelet. And I'm like, it's not like Padlet; it doesn't create a grid, but it does. So let me just save this. The only problem is if you don't save it, you won't have any collection. It won't show anything. Okay. So right now, okay, that's what it is at the moment. And let me say edit collection at the bottom if I want to go back to it. Where it says on the top, this tiny little drop down, it says media view. Okay, so click on that, and that's where you can create like a compact view and a grid view. So click on the grid view, and it will give you something like this type of like how Padlet is, those small little squares. Okay, let's add a few more things. I'm going to add an image. Okay, so let's upload an image. We go to your images, and our most famous image. Okay, and then you can add like a caption to it. Yeah, it's still a little clunky, this tool. I think because it's in testing phase, like some of the things, they don't connect properly to it. Like I have to click multiple times just to add something. and click Save. All right. Let's add a PDF document. Let's see what that does. Okay. I'm going to add, I think there is a Wakelet tutorial that I have. Ebook, Wakelet ebook. So select your document wherever you've kept it, and the screen will black out and it will say uploading PDF. And let's see what it does. There you go. Okay. And the last one is right. We already did that. Okay. The last one is bookmarks. Okay. So bookmarks, you have to add separately by going into your account. I have some over here, but let me first show you how to add bookmarks. So make sure you save your collection and come out of it onto your home page. Okay. Click home, and where you have bookmarks, click on that. All right. So whatever I have pulled in, whichever links, it will save under bookmarks as well. But once when you begin your collection, you probably will have nothing in here. So to add, you just click add a link. Let's add a link to our UHCon Facebook page, to our group page. So copy that link, go back here, copy paste, add link. And there you go. Okay. Eventually, you also have filters over here, so it can filter like your video links, just like web links, and if you have bookmarked any tweets, it can also filter based on time. So if you have if you have multiple bookmarks, like a ton of bookmarks, you can filter some of those, using these categories. And you can also search. If you have, say you have 100 bookmarks over here and you're searching for something in particular, just type in that keyword and it should bring it out. So I have a few bookmarks saved. Now let me go back to my collection, go back to my practice Wakelet, and let me pull in some bookmarks from here. So go to edit collection, and the fourth tab, which has like those folders, say add from bookmarks. Yeah, that's the thing. I have to click like 3 times, and it will show up those bookmarks that we just saved. Okay, so there is the Facebook page, and then there is an article about digital curation. There's that Twitter talk that I was talking about. And so when you decide which bookmark you want to pick, just click on the plus. Then I also want the Twitter conversation, and I also want this article in there. So I have clicked on 3 of these and say add. And that should add all your bookmarks down there. Any questions so far? Any questions? None?
None for me so far.
Okay. Make sure you save. Otherwise, whatever changes you're making to it won't save at all. Okay. Let me go back. One simple thing to make it more visual is you can also add a background image. And that also, either you can upload yours or you can choose from the library. Unsplash is a huge photo library. It's unsplash.com. On the outside of Wakelet also, if you ever want to use, some images, some nice photographs, you can go to it. It's got a huge range. Let's say background, and let me just pick this one. Okay, and that will pull in a background image to your entire collection. All right. Okay. Now, if you see on the top right corner where it says visibility, right now this Wakelet is private. All right, only I can see it. So if I share it, it won't show anything. If I make it public, then it will show up in the library of Wakelets that you can like how other people have shared their Wakelets that you can copy or take inspiration from. It will show up in that entire library. Okay. For educational purposes, I always like to suggest that use the unlisted tab. So click on unlisted. Okay. Then this button over here, right here, is if you want other people to make a copy of your collection. Okay. Then you click it open. This is great if you're creating a Wakelet of templates of sorts, like a template to write a wiki or something, then you can, toggle this to be for people to make a copy. But otherwise, don't mess with it. Just let it be. We don't want others copying our work. All right. So the visibility is unlisted. Nobody can copy, and click save. All right. Now the sharing part of it. Okay. Um, there are a couple of tabs that you see at the bottom. Are you able to see that? There is notify, manage contributors. There is 3 dots. Okay. And I'll talk about that later. And then there is share. Okay. Let's go. Okay. So this is, so it also connects to Twitter. If you have a Twitter account, it's great. Then, whatever changes you make on your Wakelet, or if you want to share your Wakelet on social media, you can use this. Not so much if it is more education related and if you're using it for some kind of a collaborative project. Let's look at this one, manage contributors. So click on that. And here you can invite contributors either by email, and this would be the CougarNet email, the UH email that students have, or as I had talked about earlier, a shareable link or code. Okay, there is a QR code here as well. So if you want the students just to join in via code, you click on this and just send this to them. Okay, give them the link and give them the code, and this will allow them to get into the Wakelet. All right. So copy link. I'm going to open a totally different browser. I'll open up Google Chrome because I'm not logged into anything in there. Let's see what it looks like. And I'm going to paste that link that I just copied. Okay, it will ask for my name. Okay, so I'm going to say Anita. Actually, let me just say AV. And I will say add. So this is the student side of things. Okay, and that will open up the Wakelet. Now here, since I'm collaborating with this student, I can, okay, so I can paste a web address, but what's not open for me to change is the Twitter and the YouTube and bookmarks. Those are not available to me because I'm not logged into Wakelet. I'm a guest. But I can always add a PDF and I can write something. Okay. So really great if they're creating like a wiki or some kind of a collaborative writing project. You can add PDF, you can add image. So these are the 3 main things that we would need in any kind of a collaborative project. And to log in, if they have CougarNet, then they will be able to access the other 3 as well, like Twitter and YouTube, and they can add those links too. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the student end without any sort of login, no email, no nothing. Okay, so if you want to use it in that manner. And let me go back. Let's see what else it does. Okay. Via name and manage contributors. So here it will list out. So suppose I send you guys an email link. So you should receive this in your email in a bit. Let's see. Bro. Okay, I'm adding Dr. Brohard and I will see Brohard. Yes, correct. Is that right, Dr. McWilliams? Yes. And send.
Yeah, I was trying to find my my mute. I was like, yeah, that's right.
Wait, let me see if I did that right. Okay. Okay. Let's see what happens. You should receive it in the email, and then you'll be able to log in or create a login and then edit this. Okay. Um, okay, I'll show you those three dots later. Okay, then the share tab is the same thing. Basically, you can either share it on social media, you can create a, and you can just share this QR code. So to share the QR code, you just right click on it, you save the image and throw that image into your course. And that way, the students, if they're using a mobile device or if it's some kind of, fun resources, then they can use that. Or just copy the link and put that into your courses. That is another way to share. And you can also share on Twitter and all of those social medias. And this is my favorite tool, okay? Embed. So what embed does is that it will show this whole Wakelet the way you see it right here, you know, with those images and with those tools. This is what it will look like if you put this code in your Blackboard, okay? Now I can pick what I want it to look like. So I want it to look like a grid. So I'm going to pick the center layout, which is the grid layout. I don't want the cover image. I want the collection title and description, and I don't want a border. I'm okay with the height. Otherwise, you can also set your own. And I can choose what theme I want, whether it's dark or light. Okay. Now, this is the embed code. So click on the copy embed code, and it will copy on the side. Now, if you want to put that into your course, let's go to our course. Let me go to my developmental shell. And course content, say whichever week. And I want to build content, say item, give it a heading, Wakelet. And in the text box, this is your generic text box that you use to write everything in. On the extreme right, you see something called HTML code view. It's really small, I know, but you click on that, it will pop up a little window which says HTML code view. Just paste the code that you copied from Wakelet, okay? And it will do that right here. This is what we copied from the Wakelet embed code. Say update. There will be a yellow box that will pop up. Don't worry about it. Do nothing about it and say submit. Now, if I go down, you'll see the entire Wakelet right there for students to access. Okay? And they can click on each of these resources and they will open up separately in a separate tab. All these resources. Cool, right? And that's it. So that is the famous embed code, and I always like doing that. So it doesn't make your course heavy or anything. It is just a code that is talking to that outside app. But because it's right there in Blackboard, visually it's so much better than just a link. Okay. Is there anything else? Any questions so far?
I really like the fact that you can actually just drop it in Blackboard and all this opens up.
Yeah, yeah. That is and you can do that with anything. You can do that with, because every tool has an embed code. A YouTube video has an embed code. Padlet has an embed code. I think I do have a Padlet in there too. Yeah, up here. Now I think I probably deleted it, but it was there.
Yeah.
What else? is one about Wakelet. Okay. These three little dots. Okay. Now here you can change the visibility of whether you want other people to see it or not. Okay, directly from the Wakelet. But this one, what I really like is PDF export. So it will export this entire collection as a PDF file. It takes about it really takes time based on how much you have in there. And you can download that PDF, open with, and there you go. So basically what it saves as is an interactive PDF file. So all these links are still clickable, except that it's in a PDF format. So if you ever want to save it in that manner.
And all the links are active. That's
Yes,
pretty great.
yes, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty
It
good.
saves as an interactive PDF. And that's pretty much it. Any questions? Oh, and this was Dr. Brohardt's third belt session. So she is the recipient of the Tech Explorer badge. Yay!